Hey all, we're in the Heat 4 Xfinity ARCA Championship at Texas. I recorded a few videos. I think I recorded 5 videos last week and only 2 saved. So I don't know where we are in this series. We're at Texas now. And got a new setup I'm testing, which is really good. Much more drivable and so on and so forth. But I get in the race here, and I have an interesting dilemma. Something that didn't show up in practice. Left rear. I'm loose, I'm slidey, but it's the left rear. If you look closely, the left rear middle temp is lower than the outside temp, and that means it is underinflated. When a tire is underinflated, it loses grip and tends to make you kind of wiggly and slidey. And it took me a few laps to figure it out, including bouncing off the wall slightly, the yellow door that you see there. But I'm kind of mystified as to why it didn't show up in practice. But again, here we are in Heat 5, where every time you enter a racetrack, it's a different experience. So I gotta fix that. So I gotta add. Now, I thought I fixed the left front difference between the middle and the left side temp. Outside in this case, in the left front. It's close to where I want it to be, but it's a little off, and that might be contributing to my wiggliness. So 240, 220. Yeah, it's about 4 or 5 degrees, a little bit too hot, which means that I might have a little bit too much camber in it, which I can't change the camber during the race, but I can change the tire pressure, which will change the camber, and it'll also tighten it up a little bit. And I need to add to the rear anyway. So I think on the pit stop, if there's only one, I will add half a pound to the left side tires, and that should help tremendously. 'Cause I know I'm showing 7% loose, but most of it is because the left rear isn't gripping. So if you've ever had a rear tire going down on you in real life, and the rear end gets really wiggly like it's on ice. And that's what I was experiencing, because it was a weird wiggle. I hadn't actually felt that kind of wiggle before. On the right side, yes. On the left side, no. So it took me a while to figure it out. But I figured it out. And I'm not running that bad. I had made a qualifying run to see where I stood, and I was a little off, so I decided to work on it after I made the run. So that the way I do it is, then I gotta start shotgun on the field, just like if you change something before a race. And like I said, I fixed these problems. It should be a decent. See how it's sliding? It's because if you look at whichever tire is gaining temperature when you slide, that's where you're sliding. Right? Not sliding here. And as we get towards off, right? See, it's not the right front, it's going down. It's, I believe, both rear tires, or the left rear. When you're in traffic, it's hard to look. And even if I had a perfect setup, speed-wise, coming in here, I don't think I'd have anything for that one car. That one car is just walking away from the field since the drop of the green flag. Everybody's pitting now. They got 12 laps to go. Well, this might help. Hey, caution! There may or may not be a caution, but I'm going to run it out. because it is weird. I'll probably help it some with my changes, but I probably won't fix them completely. So the less laps I have to run, the faster I'll be, and the longer until I pit, the older tires they will be on, so the faster I will be relative to them. See, I'm about 2/10 off running by myself. Ideally 4/10 in a race. If you watch the speed, see, I shouldn't be below 170. It's on 168. That's not too bad, but 30.4 is where I should be running by myself, no one on the track. With this setup. Okay. So we are now putting the whole field lap down. I don't know if I can make all 8 laps with this right rear. See, I made changes where I thought I would get to with only be 2% loose. But once more, the game had its own ideas. And it's so weird because the left rear is sliding around even more than the right rear. But it's the right rear that gets all the wear. I mean, you can obviously see that, you know, the left rear is all fucked up. And it's like, the game just like ignores it. I'll be able to get 5 laps out of this. Oh, he got a caution. Yeah, everybody's gonna get back on the lead lap, and they're all pitting. Oh, so there goes my whole any possible advantage out the window. It doesn't pay not to pit. Well, good chances they might pit early. Okay. Do that. You know what? Because we might have to make a long run. We'll do that. And we'll do that. Yeah. Okay. So we're basically racing 5 cars. 4 cars, 5 cars. So we got to go all the way to the end. And I added the extra tire, and just to make sure I can make it to the end. Because if they pit early, all I got to do is run it out, so I can throw it in 4th gear if I have to. But because I didn't get a full run to see exactly where the tires would leave me, you know, would blow, I'm playing a little conservative since we only had 1 lap of grace. Not sliding. Look at that left rear tire for the temperature to come up. The other thing that adding more to the left rear does is it, as the tire pressures come up, as you run through the run, the looser that the right rear will want to get, the left rear will keep the stagger tighter, closer together, so it won't put all the pressure on the right rear and help it stay less loose. Now, we certainly don't have an unbalanced setup, which is good, because driving a car, it feels like it has a tire going down. It's not a fun thing. Notice tire pressures are still low, so right now it's working in our favor. Wish I could get this thing a little faster. It might be a little bit slow, but it's handling rock solid stable. 47 laps, 51 in the tank. I think I'll be able to go all the way, all out. Second place is the one car, which has been the fastest. Let's see if he's catching us. No, not yet. Now we tend to start off fast, but we tend to slow down. So I'm also, I see he's starting to gain back on us. If they're racing, that helps us. Notice I'm barely off the gas. Here I aim for that overhanging sign there. Running alone by myself out here and with the AI offline, you don't get the full benefit of the online racing. Oh, you know what? He's stuck in the middle from all the cars that didn't pit or whatever, waved around or whatnot. I get it. So that's why I'm pulling out on him. Well, that ain't gonna last forever. If it lasts about 20 laps and we pull out far enough, we just might be able to squeak this one out if they don't pit. Because I don't think they're gonna pit. At least the net won't. But we're not pulling out fast enough. He's not in enough traffic. He's not in enough trouble. So we're probably racing for second. But that's okay. You know, again, what I'm doing is testing, figuring stuff out. So what that left rear is doing. See, it's closer. Still needs a little bit more, and I put a pound in it, I believe. But that's not hurting us as much as the 10 degrees less did. We get another caution, we're definitely pitting. Not now. I think if we got a caution now, everybody would pit, and then I would be, you know, we'd all be in the same deal. But if we get a caution like about 20 to go, and I pit, I don't think many or any will go with me. And the way it looks is I only really have to worry about a net. So if the net doesn't pit, that could equalize us and make him a sitting duck. He's got some free track, it looks like, on the mini-map. It's driving like it did in practice now, which is interesting. And I took a picture of the changes I made, so when we come back to working on this setup, I'll enter them in after the race and save them. So we'll start with this. You know, and everybody, you know, I know some people watch this, oh, he's racing AI. You know what? The AI are faster at some of the tracks, and this is one of them. And you got an easy way to get them the fastest the game will let them is just hit championship mode for them. And I'm racing in championship mode, but there's a setting for them in the AI setting. And you just do that, and it goes, you know, all the way up. The other thing you can do is, and it makes them real aggressive too. I mean, even in practice, they won't let you go. They'll hit you. Yeah, it's interesting to find that out. But That's, you know, not in practice, but that's more like real life during a race, you know, so makes it harder. They stay closed up more, like they would in real, like, you know, guys would in real life. So it's another level up. The other thing is, for the speed, they added a, you know, everybody knows you got 104, 105, whatever. They added an auto hard. And an auto, well, they have auto easy and auto hard. They might have auto also. But it's basically, it depends. They run as fast as you're running to a point. Auto hard, they run faster, and that's what I have it set for. You know, X amount, which is a good training tool when you're working on setups and racing and figuring out tracks. If you get, and usually the way it is you get a couple of guys that running the same speed or a little bit faster on auto hard. And so it's really those two guys that you're racing. In this race, it's a net. And he just happened to get caught up in strategy. Well, not really. Caution. See, he's closing in now. If he gets clear track, he's got a bunch of guys to get through. But very critical, if there's no caution, then I maintain a gap. What are we down to? 34 laps to go. So 20 laps, but he's only gained like half a second, and it's because he's in clear track. And if you notice, between me and him, there's maybe half a dozen cars or so. 8. I don't know. I can't really count the dots. So the other thing you can do is you can put as many lap down cars as you can, passing more, like right now is also a very good thing to do. What's that left rear doing? 5 degrees. Okay, so we could up that a little bit. And see, we're 2% loose, this is how I practiced for 20 minutes before I started the race. It's interesting. But that's why you do both. You know, practice is great because it gives you a little bit of what you experience in the race. You know, other cars on track, sliding. Other cars on track, aero, you know, some aero stuff, but not too much, so you can concentrate on the setup. And then I go and I run the race, so I can get the rest of that feel, you know, flesh it out. And even online, it'll be a little bit different as well, depending on your settings. Like in my old league, it was a lot of the series had high draft at a track like this. Some people think it makes it looser. It doesn't make it looser to me, yeah, I guess. But what it does is, what it did for me is it made it more aero sensitive. So like if you had a little bit of damage, it would affect you more or different ways, or it would affect you harder where you didn't notice it before, you know, kind of thing. When you're in a pack of cars, the car would act differently, very noticeably. Ooh. Just a little tail happy. You know, little things like that. And because you only have front and rear ride heights on these things, it's very hard to fine-tune your aero setup. So basically, you just have to deal with it. Alright, we were racing Homestead a couple weeks ago, in all 3 series. And I noticed, you know, one of the things you deal with on at the start or on restarts is you come out of turn 2, and of course, you know, you're already too wide from the start, and guys get loose in the transition between turn 2 and the straightaway. That transition is where you always get loose late in the run in turn 2. And it's more so when you're side by side. So, one of the things you do is you might tighten yourself up a little bit, especially if it's early in the race. You get too many cautions. The race director's yelling at everybody, come on guys, you got a long race to go. So you tighten it up a little bit, and then realize you get loose there anyway. There's like a glitch there. I noticed. And it's not really a glitch. I believe it's it's how the aerodynamics work in online multiplayer. They're very aggressive, so it makes you a lot looser than you should be, especially if you're in certain parts of the track. People will swear that there's a seam glitch, so on and so forth, and a lot of times it's not really the seam, but one of the things that people do is at a track like Homestead is you're running tight, right? Your right front literally is wearing more than the right rear, so you're running tight. Might not feel tight, but you're running tight in order to get the stability, and then you get loose late in the run. Well, a lot of times that's because you're digging in. And you get past halfway in the run, and all of a sudden you get sideways off the 2 because you're tight, you're drifting up, and you get too close to the wall, and you turn left, and the car just breaks loose on you. But that's a too tight condition in a point at a track that's very weird. One of the weird things, like turn 2 here at Texas, at all 4 turns of Homestead, is it's progressive banking. And that means as you go towards the top of the track, or at the bottom of the track, there's more banking than the top in order to equalize it, or something like that. It's to make more lanes of racing. But it tends to require a bit of a different setup, or it changes the lanes that you run that you're fast in. And all that affects what's going on when you get on worn tires. I find that the car tends to handle very... Ooh, who is this? The car tends to handle very weird. It handles both loose and tight at different parts of the track. So you just got to get used to it and understand, okay, I get 10 laps in the run, it's going to do this. I get 20 laps in the run, it's going to do that. And I get to the end of the run, it's going to do number 3 or something else. And you got to kind of practice for it. It's going to be close. I got all the clear track, and he's faster. Alright. Yep. He's like half a second a lap faster. Why am I so slow? Oh, well, I had that guy. Let's see what this lap can bring. Yeah, I'm slow. It's the adjustments I had to make. Oh well. I got 22 laps of gas. He might pit, but he's not gonna. Everybody else will pit, he won't pit. See, I'll be second. So it's kind of like that here. If you got a setup that runs a little tight, that's probably going to hurt you handling wise down the end of the run to the to the pit stop. That's why I like to balance it so I'm 1% or 2% loose. This is a newer, different kind of setup. So 3% loose is not helping me, but it's better than being 7% loose like I was before. And part of it is because that left rear is still not fully inflated. And what that does is it means I don't have max grip on that left rear. And since I have a setup that's a little on the loose side, it's sliding the left rear around, which of course slides the right rear around. And when the rear end slides around more, it wears more. That's not the only way it wears more, but in this case, it's contributing a lot to it. That I've calmed it down is the only reason why I'm 3% loose and not more. And with 17 laps to go in the race, wow, they could all pit. If I'm at 17, yeah, I might have to throw it in the fourth gear just to make it to the end. Because I tend to use a lot of gas at these tracks. I don't use as much gear as them. In fact, they pitted when I had about 12 laps to go. They started pitting. Well, they may start pitting the next 5 laps. We'll just wait it out here. Yep. He's fast. If there's a caution, I'll be screwed. So I can feel it, you know, if you kind of like get too aggressive with it, it just wants to throw the car around sideways. That was going to happen there. I'm sliding a little bit loose wiggle on it. It kind of feels like you're on snow a little bit. And since we're at a 220 on the left front this late in the run, that kind of says to me we got too much tire pressure overall in certain spots or bad settings. You don't want to touch them, so when I hit the wall, so you gotta slide it, control slide it up into a slot. Hopefully you clear them and go. So that's 2/3 we gave up, and the net is closing. He's literally like a half a second faster a lap now. Unless he pits, we're not going to win this race. I'm trying to put as many guys between us as I can. He's probably running. Don't wreck. He's probably running close to the 30-point flat, whereas I think 30.2 would be my best if I fix this setup. So that's a goal. Another 2/10. .6 won't cut it. It will contact. I think that's some behind me. 10 laps. I don't want to slide, but I want to be on the gas. You know, I barely turned the steering wheel. I had the setup set up to turn. It's called an asymmetrical setup. And one of the ways to get fast, turn 2 is a little tighter because of less banking. So it's harder not to lose speed there. But these tracks all race a lot more like, say, old Daytona with tighter turns. So the less you turn the wheel, the faster you go to a point. Gears are important. Lines are important. can't. Is that a net right there? Oh. He's got a red nose, I think. Well, that's not him. It's a lap down car I just passed. Oh, 6 laps to go, and we got 20% on the right rear. That's better than 13%. Although that didn't help us. It's gonna suck. They're not pitting. I just realized they should have started pitting if they were going to about 5 laps ago. So if they don't pit, if he doesn't pit, I'm gonna lose this like on the last. Oh, don't do that. Oh, Morgan. Oh man, why didn't you just stay high? He's one of those AI cars that will just block you arbitrarily. And we got nose damage. Oh man. See, that makes it even worse. Because it's not a one-on-one contest, it's a circumstantial thing. Oh, he's still behind us. He's still back there. But that didn't help. That's 4 laps. That could have made the difference right there. Because I'm not slowing down. Oh. Stay away from these guys. Sliding around more. Yeah, that's him. Yep, that's him. Oh man. Yep. Lap down cars. Hey, Michael. Shit. So these are the ones that hurt the most. Especially when it's not all my fault. And you get a guy making a dumb move. There he goes. I can't hold it. You know, him coming up on me like that also loosens me up. That's why I came on. What was that? Yep, 2 laps to go. Probably gonna run out before the line. Ah, I can't believe it. There's all this traffic. He's free and I'm gonna be bound up. I'm gonna run out of gas though. Oh, they're pitting now. Look at that. Look at that. 2 laps to go. Ah. Oh, man. What are you gonna do? We got a little bit of work to do. But he was the one guy that could beat us, and you know, I've done that a bunch of times, so you know, sometimes you're the bear and sometimes the bear eats you. Good race though. Learned a lot. Got a lot of speed in this thing. My goal though is, like I said, is to try to get this when I'm by myself to no slower than 30.2s down to the pit stop. So we were solid 30.4s when we had clean laps, even with the looseness and, you know, the handicap with that. We're able to make it work, so we can probably get it down another 1/10 or 2, like I want to. Unless it takes some more testing. But we're good. I know online, for whatever reason in the multiplayer lobby, this thing will run 30.2s. But my thinking is if I can get it to 30.2s offline, then I could probably get 30.0s online at the end of a run. One thing I do realize is most of my setups like the draft. They tend to handle better and be a little bit faster. But not bad from coming from the back and finishing second, leading half the race. See, if it's not that he might not have gotten past me if Morgan didn't hold me up there, and the other guy also. I should have known they were going to do it. He was going to do what he did, so I lost that time. But it might have been able to allow me to get ahead of all those cars and pull away from them a little bit before he can get them and make it closer coming down to the end. Because we saw I ran out about where pit road was, but if I was far enough ahead of him, I might have been able to hold him off. Because we didn't lose significant speed until we got close to the line, so would have been close. Just the ability to run it out, you know, fresh, you know, instead of having something happen. Still killing it. We see who we're fighting every week. Cole had a fast car too, but not. We put him a lap down. Got the fastest lap. And the most laps, so it'll be like 58 laps. Wow. 58 laps, came up 2 laps short. That's the way it goes sometimes. And second is nothing to worry about. You know, I'll show you those settings I was telling you about. No, oh no, I think we can only go 105 in the championship race thing. We got them on expert. Draft is normal. Give them more recovery skill, which is why when I not get into those guys, there's not as much many cautions. Yeah, we do have mechanical failures on, but infrequent, because you know things happen, and it's not normal to go through a whole race without a caution. Draft partners disabled because they're annoying as fuck. And well, thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, ask me questions. You'll see us in this series. You'll see us next at Bristol for some short track action. And well, have a good night.